Conditions became so hopeless that the hierarchy of this solar system, meeting in conclave 18.5 million years ago, decided to abandon the evolutionary experiment on the Earth and dissolve the planet. But Sanat Kumara, ruler of Venus, asked to be permitted to try to restore harmony on the Earth. His wish was granted, and leaving the planet Venus in charge of Lady Venus, goddess of beauty in this solar system, Sanat Kumara came to the Earth with about 100 helpers and set up headquarters on an island in the Gobi Sea, now the Gobi Desert. This was called the White Island of Shambhala. Sanat Kumara, with all of his vast powers as one of the greatest adepts in the galaxy, struggled for 18.5 million years to restore order on the Earth and to save the planet from dissolution. Early in his reign as Lord of the World, he submerged and contaminated the continent of Lemuria, home of the third root race, in the area now known as the Pacific Ocean. A remaining seed group of Lemurians settled in Africa and became the ancestors of the present people. Easter Island was sealed against the ravages of time and preserved as a monument to old Lemuria. Also, the melody of an ancient Lemurian song has been passed down to us and is still sung today, Auld Lang Syne. Under the direction of Sanat Kumara, a selected group started the fourth root race, the Atlans, in the area now covered by the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. But the contamination of the laggards proved too great. Black magicians reigned in high places, and the practice of black magic became widespread throughout the populace. Finally, Sanat Kumara was forced to order the submerging of Atlantis. Remnants of the population scattered and formed the present Chinese and Japanese races, among others. The scriptures carry a partial account of this great deluge, together with the significant statement that the world, or worldliness, as introduced by the laggards in the form of gross materialism, leading to black magic, would again be destroyed, but by fire from heaven rather than water. This is the violet fire of the seventh cosmic ray, which is the ray that white magicians use to transmute black magic. It is now in manifestation and will energize the planet for the next 2,000 years of the Aquarian Age. These, then, are the latter days. This brings the history of humanity to the present fifth root race, and to its present turning point as the sixth root race is being formed under the direction of the Christ forces, assisted by thousands of adepts drawn from all parts of our galaxy. These visitors we have come to know as space people. Now is the time when the final cleansing is to take place on the Earth's surface, within the interior of the planet, which had also become contaminated, and in the dense astral atmosphere of the Earth, which now extends 10,000 feet above the surface of the globe. It is in this astral area around the Earth that all the contamination has accumulated from the emotional emanations given off by individuals through the ages, and wherever the frightful thought forms thrown off by the race. In this astral area, until 1957, were also found all disembodied entities known as earthbound spirits. They refused, under their privilege to use their free will in any manner whatsoever, to leave the earth, and mingled freely with the populace, often inciting those in physical bodies to commit deeds of violence. However, by November 1957, this sordid and sorry tale of the fall of man had ended. Sanat Kumara had completed his work of restoration to a point where he was able to leave the earth and return to his home planet of Venus. With the aid of tens of thousands of individuals from other planets coming to the assistance of the earth at this time, and with renewed help from the angelic kingdom, which had been forced to virtually withdraw from the isolated years, the interior of the globe had been cleansed. Every single earthbound entity had been removed from the astral atmosphere, and all black magicians have been seized and taken from the globe. The forces of darkness are still operating among black disciples and tools in human bodies, but as these individuals die, they will not be permitted to reincarnate unless they agree to serve the light. The contaminated astral atmosphere around the earth, although still being constantly poisoned by emanations of hatred, vengeance, greed, and lust, generated by living human beings, is being bombarded night and day by powerful rays directed from spaceships orbiting the Earth, by cleansing energies from saucers flying close to the Earth, and by fireballs manufactured on Mars being exploded near the ground in contaminated areas which cannot be reached by flying saucers. Although disease and death and all the old fears of poverty, war, hunger, and helplessness still stalk the earth, these grim specters are attracted here only by the unenlightened ones, by the diehards, the sinister secretives, the stubborn skeptics, in other words, by the laggards who are still lagging. However, it is now in this brief interval just ahead that death itself will at long last prove to be a cleansing blessing to this globe rather than a curse. But now, as soon as an individual is released from his physical body anywhere on the globe, he is removed immediately from the Earth's astral atmosphere. No discarnates are allowed to linger near the Earth. No matter what may be the circumstances surrounding the death of an individual, he is permitted only 3 months of rest after shedding his physical body. Then he must be up and doing, working on a new assignment. If he is hopelessly enmeshed in karma, he may be removed from the earth entirely and permitted to take rebirth on another hospital planet with a specially prepared vibration suitable to his condition. If he is to come back into re-embodiment on this planet, he must prepare by undergoing special purification processes in the temple of the violet fire in the etheric realm. This is the time when all worldliness and materialism, such as we have known, is to be destroyed by the violet fire of the seventh ray, the fire of transmutation through the divine qualities of mercy, forgiveness, and compassion. On the inner planes, the sheep have been separated from the goats in a separation which is final for these times. In other words, the future of nearly 10 billion souls associated with this earth evolution at this time has been decided by the lords of karma. Actually, it has been decided by each individual himself through hundreds of embodiments down through long centuries, but the record for each soul has been submitted for review at this time. These records clearly show how much light is being used by each individual, for we all use light according to our capacity. If our record shows that in the past we have been able to make use of only a small amount of light, then it is pointless to continue evolution on this planet. These unenlightened ones, if they could not keep up with their evolutionary classwork in the past, would be dire misfits in the vastly improved conditions which will unfold on this planet in the immediate future. These conditions are already causing an extremely increased tempo in mental, emotional, and etheric vibrations as well as in material physical aspects. Material situations will be so greatly improved within a few years that the planet will be unrecognizable according to present low standards. The globe, during the past 19 million years, became so heavily weighted with discord that it drooped on its bent axis like a weary flower on a stalk. Now the angelic kingdom, under the supervision of planetary and cosmic hierarchs, has straightened the axis, a task which was started in its early phase over 20 years ago. The final phase was started on January 1st, 1957, and completed late in 1958. Meanwhile, the Earth is moving in a sidewise motion as it edges into a new orbit, and at the same time is being lifted up, spiraling into a new spatial region. In the very near future, the natural action of the cosmic rays will bring about a complete restoration of the planet. it will again become the paradise as it was in the days before the laggards came. What we know as the astral atmosphere will be completely dispelled. Light from the cosmic rays will reach the earth in natural abundance. The climate will change so that the goddess of spring, Amaryllis, will again take charge of vegetation the year round, and the little elementals who build the grass and trees, the fruits and flowers, will be able to work without hindrance. With the incoming light, the atmosphere of the earth will again become brilliant with colors. The sphere will sound forth its great chords in the cosmic symphony. Disease will vanish, and its memory be wiped from the minds of men. Death will be vanquished, and each individual will make his ascension in dignity and in peace. In harmony and in love, he will return to his home star, there to await his next evolutionary assignment. All of this is in the immediate future, when the words of the Lord's Prayer shall become manifest. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. If there is to be heaven on earth, then it is natural to assume that there will be no place on this planet for the obstructionists, the unenlightened ones who are haunted by doubt. By doubt, fear, hate, and greed. This book is therefore of interest only to those who know in their hearts that they really desire to serve the light, that, as much servers, they truly wish to take part in the unfoldment of the divine plan on this planet. We need not waste time and energy trying to convince the unenlightened ones that God is a good God. If they have not figured that out in 19 million years, it is hardly likely that they will learn to lovingly entertain the idea during the next 19 years. For by 1975, the past dark history of this earth will be scarcely remembered. Therefore, only those who are interested in taking part in ushering in the new civilization should read this book. Among those bent on vengeance, war, financial profit, and so forth, this book will only arouse further antagonism and jealousy. As these obstructionists are gradually removed from the earth through death, they will not be permitted to incarnate here under present regulations being enforced by the lords of karma. Where their future lies is a matter of no interest to us whatsoever. One of our greatest failures as humans lies in the fact that we have been sentimentalists, and have been so ever ready to sympathize with imperfection. Had we been as eager to admire the perfection of God and his works, we would never have become bogged down, floundering about in a sea of imperfection. We cannot have it both ways. Those who are not with God are against him, and that settles the matter. Our entire energy now must be thrown on the positive side. We must study the situation as of today, find out just where we stand, discover what progress has been made, and what remains to be done. Who are the individuals in embodiment at the moment who are aiding in the unfolding of the divine plan? What are they doing? How can we help them today? What positive enterprises, no matter how tiny or how great, can we initiate, not as plodding and weary humans, but as joyous initiates on our way to the final triumph of the ascension? With this tremendous weight of positive interest in the welfare of our planet, the pendulum swing between good and evil will soon swing to the side of good, and stand steady in the light. That moment will bring with it the descent of peace, the return of the dove. Even now, like Noah of old, we gaze expectantly skyward, knowing that the dove is winging its way from outer space, bearing to us the symbolic olive branch from our planetary neighbors, those good friends we knew and loved so well back in the wonderful days before the laggards came, before we became wandering prodigals, before we became the lost, the bewildered ones. Now let us prepare for the great cosmic festival of reunion, of fellowship, of interplanetary friendship. Let us prepare to welcome the dove, and send forth to all mankind the joyous message that the burning issues of confusion have vanished from the earth. And that is the end of part 1. We must have slipped into an alternative timeline because that did not age well.